Hey, I believe I am live right now. Cool. Hello, everyone. Like I said, I'm gonna eventually do this a lot more consistently. So that is the goal with this. I'm just checking a few things. Yeah, it does look like I'm live. Yeah, I think I am. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna just do what I normally do, right? We're gonna start with the indices. There's a couple tickers I have in my head that I wanted to cover, and then if there's any viewer requests, just throw them in the chat. All right. So let's come into the Discord real quick. And I started the morning by saying it just seemed odd this morning. All right. And before we go into the why, that's what that candle is to me right there. Okay, we open all the way up here at 5,875. All right, that's a significant gap up actually from all the way down here, right? Issue is, instead of gapping up and going, we end up gapping up and falling so far all the way down here. Clearly we're green, we are higher than we were yesterday, but I'm not a fan of starting up here and dropping down here. That's not how green candles should work, right? So it looked like there was some economic data. It doesn't seem like anything was horrible. It was, let's call it decent. And again, I didn't go in, I didn't check any of this data, this and that, right? But yeah, I think that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, data is a thing, right? There's a whole mess of like numbers that they give, from unemployment to inflation, this and that. I always say I am not here pretending to be smart enough to understand that, right? But different things make the market do different things. End of the day, look, we're still over the 8 and the 20. We're still over all five. Not the biggest fan of the gap up and drop, but hey, as long as we're over the 8, you know I'm happy. As long as we're over the 8 and the 20, you know I'm happy, right? So I can't get too upset, but yeah, one more time, that's why things looked odd to me. If you're gonna gap up on an indice, I'm expecting you to continue. You know what I mean? When we look at the Dow Jones, DJ30, Dow Jones Industrial, so this one does not as drastic a gap up, but it gaps up a little bit. There's a little bit of black in between those two, and then obviously we are continuing on up. This is a better 0.32 than the I guess it wasn't that big a number. I thought it was a little bit bigger. But yeah, Dow Jones obviously looks a little better to me because, hey, at least the candle looks a little better. That said, obviously this is a doji and still somewhat, undecided and not good enough for me, right? But hey, same comment. Overall 5 over the two important ones. MACD still good. RSI still healthy, right? When we look at NASDAQ, comp Q right there, this one has a lot of that S&P 500 look, right? Looks like we're just bouncing on the 8, nice gap up. Hopefully would have continued. No. Instead, we open up here at 18.5 and we've now made our way down to 18.3 and stuff, right? So again, I'm glad that the indices look good. However, I think it dictated the odd market here. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I got on the indices. I think I'll end it with the weekly, right? So again, I'm still liking this daily. As I come to the weekly, I do gotta still like this weekly, right? Still overall 5, still positive MACD, 53 RSI, volume hasn't been that bad, right? When I go to NASDAQ, comp Q, same kind of story, right? This one's coming up to that all-time high line right there, but hey, we're still over all 5 on the weekly. We've still got a positive MACD. RSI doesn't look as good. I see the red line over the green line, but hey, at least the number is okay, right? And then DJ30, Dow Jones Industrial, same thing like the S&P 500, right? This actually looks a lot nicer too, I would say. So yeah, the weekly looks good. The weekly's still here, making me believe that next week's gonna look good, right? So until something drastic happens with the lines, all I can do is assume good things, right? So yeah, I think that was pretty good. I'm not seeing any comments, but I'm assuming. Yeah, okay, cool. We are live. Perfect. I see people on there. Okay, cool. So I talked about a firm lap. Oh, wait, really quickly, I got to write the chapter time, 4:45. Okay, cool. 1 second. Sorry, 4:45. Okay, affirm. Oh man, I got affirm wrong right here. And I say it all the time. I'm much louder about my incorrects than I am my correct ones. The argument can obviously still be made that, hey, look, we're still holding the 20, right? I'm obviously sad that we didn't get over, that we're slipping below the 8. I'm obviously sad that we didn't break that resistance line, but hey, the 8 and the 20 are still actually going up, and we're still actually holding them, and you can see the 50s going up. Clearly, I expected that 50 to go down and take out the 65. I keep going back to it, right? This is why I love waiting for the extra 5 was a good call. I said it yesterday, and I'm echoing it again today, right? And where was it? Oh man, whatever. You get it though. Someone said wait the extra 5, and sometimes it's worth it, right? I know it looks awesome to go from here to here. Sometimes you hear me say, wait for this to break and attack there. This is a good example of me not taking my own advice, right? I liked it over all 5 moving averages. I liked the setup here. Obviously, waiting for the 5 was, I think, the better advice. Again, I'm not necessarily giving up here and saying that it's game over here. We are still holding the 8 and the 20, right? And hey, this is only the first candle under the 8, and it's not even the end of the day yet, right? But yeah, I gotta start with at least calling out, oh, I was not the most correct there. I talked about lithium last week, and I think lithium has actually done pretty well. LAC making some nice movements. This candle right here was an after hours jump actually. Last night after market, LAC jumped really nicely. I actually even remember calling it out here. Yeah, moving after hours. It opens up here, drops down here. I think a little bit of that, I might be wrong, but I think a little bit of that is just indicative of NASDAQ. NASDAQ gaps up, NASDAQ drops down. Lithium drives a lot of the stuff that are the NASDAQ tech stocks, right? So, we are still well over the 8 and the 20. We can actually see that the 20 is golden crossing the 100. The big thing, though, we still have not confirmed that 100 moving average. I clicked there for no reason. Green candle, no confirmation. Good candle, no confirmation. Gap up is for sure a good candle. That is not confirmation today, right? So I realize that we've been over that blue line for at least these 2 days in a row, right? I realize I just mentioned the golden cross. Believe me, confirmation's important, right? I like that the lines are going up. I do, and I've definitely seen things bounce on the 8 moving average without confirming. But again, for me to just, start to believe in the more and more, you gotta confirm, right? So LAC, I think, hasn't been a bad ticker since I mentioned it. I think it was doing a little bit better than LAAC. Again, same thing, right? That looks like a good candle, and that looks like a good after it, but if you actually look, that doesn't really break the 100. So truth be told, that's the first one, and that's not confirmation. That's a good one. That's not confirmation, and here we are now, right? So both these tickers have not really confirmed the 100 well. Both are still holding important lines, though, so you kind of have to decide what you like with that, right? AMLI. AMLI was the third of the lithium stocks. This one did make a nice little move. Green brought us a red, but hey, the 8 moving average did the job, and it's at least held it so far, right? 100%, there's a real good chance that this falls all the way down to 66, but the 8 moving average is supposed to be a strong line, and the 8 moving average hopefully gives us green, red, bounce all the way up, maybe back to 1, maybe to 105. Personally, I would love AMLI if it could break 105 and keep going, right? Our RSI was super high at 84, comes back down, is sitting at a healthy 60. This is what bouncing on the 8 and resetting healthy looks like, right? To me, that's confirmation right there. So hopefully now we're just riding the lines and going. So lithium, I mentioned these last week. I think these did all right. Again, AFRM, I clearly do wish it did just a little bit better. I don't see any chats real quick. If there are any tickers you want me to look at, obviously throw them in the thing. You know what's catching my eye is Chewy. Okay, so Chewy has some interesting things going on. I think more than anything, it's this doji that I'm seeing today. I assume I was looking at it when the ticker was actually better, but I actually saw it pushing the 30s. This is an interesting little moment right here, right? So we're trying to use the 50. We're actually trying to get back over all 5 moving averages, right? And as I zoom out, if this 32 was to break, oh man, that's a lovely channel to 40, right? So There's some things worth looking here. And look, Chewy, end of the day, is a Dow Jones stock. I think Dow Jones looks probably better than the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, right? So I've always seen Dow Jones as like the brick and mortar basics, right? And to me, some pet store definitely is that. Chewy obviously has a lot of like online presence, and they want to be the Amazon of the pet stores and this and that. Look, I just kind of, I don't know. I might be wrong right there, and maybe it's a little too gray right there, right? But either way, I'm seeing this as just some sort of pet store. Dow Jones is doing well. Clearly, we need to confirm, and this is as textbook as a doji gets. When a doji's on an important place like a moving average, let alone on two moving averages, oh man, there should be a strong confirmation coming soon, all right? Volume's been a little bit weak here, to say the least, right? And look, tomorrow's Friday. I generally assume that Friday's a loser day, but you know, let's see what Chewy can do, and there's this one's at least worth some eyes right there. So I'll chapter it right here. I think this is actually my tickers, 1055. Okay, HOLO. Let's take a look at HOLO, and I think there's a couple other tickers that HOLO makes me consider looking at. Okay, two things right off the bat, all right? I hate reverse splits. I 1000% have seen these big green uptrends after reverse splits. To me, they're outliers. When you reverse split, oh man, bad generally follows, all right? Right now, I am looking at a stock that's under all 5 moving averages. Yesterday was a relatively bad candle, not horrible, but this one's scary to me. This one gaps down, not a hardcore gap down, but we've gapped down and we're now making our way down pretty hard. Clearly, this is the last green candle between here and the black hole vortex of all-time lows, right? I think I would put my death line right there. I would be wildly afraid of this going below 440. If HOLO loses 440, to me, I significantly believe we're going to lose 20%, and then another 20%, and then another 20% until something magically happens. You know, I never like a stock under all 5. I never like them under the 8 and the 20. I for sure don't like it when a reverse split just happens. In my head, I think you kind of need to wait about 3 months after the reverse split to hope for good things. Because like if you watch my videos, I'm kind of looking at roughly this view, right? 1, 2, 3, there's 5 months in this view right here, right? I want the reverse split to be like, look, this reverse split right here. This thing happens, craziness up. This is an outlier. And if you're buying this, believing that's gonna duplicate, oh man, I've lost so much money doing that. I sincerely believe, like, and it's funny because I'm here saying that like stocks remember what they do, and like, you know, we use the past to kind of predict the future. Reverse splits don't do this normally. They really don't. They normally do this, and then after you're up here, you come all the way down here like we are right now. You know what I mean? So is this thing frozen on me? No, there it goes. It's just lagging. So personally, I think we're going to lose 440 and then probably go lower on HOLO if I had to guess. Hey, I am on live things right now, right? You're going to see my alerts go off. An alert is not an immediate buy notification. Let me look at the weekly really quickly. Okay, maybe you can justify man, 6 is a lot. Hold on, let me go back to the daily real quick. Oh, dude, I see why it's 6. Honestly, I would not touch HOLO until it could break 660. All right, 660 puts me over the 50 moving average, and hey, maybe I can start to believe we're going to come up to the 100 moving average. 660 also puts me nicely over the 8 moving average here, and hopefully I can come all the way up to the 20, right? So for me, breaking 6 and attacking makes way more sense than hoping that we're going to do something down here, right? So just my 2 cents on HOLO. Let me know if you disagree or have any other questions. Whenever I see HOLO, I think of MAXN. Let's take a look at MAXN real quick. Again, same comments here. When I see a reverse, I don't care if it's the 1 for 20 we just saw, the 1 for the 100 we see right here, the 1 for 2, the smallest you can make it, right? I don't like reverse splits. I always believe there's more pain after the reverse. You want a stock to go up organically. You want it to go up because of PR news, because of volume, whatever, right? You don't want silly math manipulation, moving the decimals and making it go up that way, right? Like this is a silly mathematical move up from the bottom that you were at, and the bottom you probably deserve to stay at, right? So I'm not hating on this stock. I'm hating on all reverse splits, right? So under the 8, under the 20, definitely not something I like. Maybe if we can break, again, same 6 number, if we can break 6, there's a decent path all the way up to 7 something. That's a nice percentage right there, actually, right? So maybe that channel is worth it. You know, personally, I think that there are better stocks out there and better setups, you know what I mean? So MAXN and HOLO do have me a little worried. I'm going to talk about 2 crazy ones. Let's look at NUZE, all right? So listen, I sincerely believe that something like this isn't really catchable, okay? No one looks at this yesterday candle, all right? This under all 5, really low, bad, like this is not a good yesterday candle. No one looks at this and thinks to themselves, oh yeah, 700% plus, it's only at 588, right? It was all the way up here. This thing was pushing 700 for moments. Like that's not real, okay? What is real is using moving averages on different time frames. All I'm watching this thing do from again, I'm on the West Coast, or sorry, I'm on the 6:30 my time, 9:30 their time. Wow, that was so dumb. Since the morning on today the 17th, all we've been doing is bouncing on the 8 moving average, going up on the 15 minute. All right. As I look at the daily, you can, sometimes I say, hey, break this and take it to this, break this, take it to this. 15 minutes, a really nice view of what happened here. There was another ticker that started with an O. It was like a couple days ago, I think. Oh, let's look at STEC. Same thing, STEC, okay? On yesterday, oh no, this one's not a good one, dude. There was for sure another one. I'm real comfortable on the 15 minute because like I live in meetings, right? I live in a 30-minute meeting world, and for me, there is no best time frame. Believe me, I'm not here saying that 15-minute click was that magical one, right? But yeah, there's some interesting things that you can do with that. I see game being asked. I'll take a look at game and AMC in this chunk here too. Okay, so I will actually say in the Discord, there's been a lot of chatter about game, about squeezes. You can see this is all the 15th, the 14th. There's actually been a lot of chatter on the Discord. I'm not a believer just yet. Okay, First thing I'm going to do is delete this line. I don't think we need this line. There's too many moving averages right here, and at the minimum, like we're at the mercy of that thing. So to me, there are I guess 3 ways to play this, okay? If we break this 50 moving average, the red line sitting at $21.70, if you're looking at the box over there, that's not a bad channel all the way up to 23 and change. That's about a 10% move. Believe me, double-digit moves, like that's what I'm here for, right? I like higher double-digit moves, but hey, give me at least a good double-digit move in a good little channel, right? I think that's a real decent strategy right there. I would not touch this thing under 21.75, 21.80, just depends on what your risk reward is. Look what's been happening with these 3 lines. We go to the top, we go to the bottom, we go to the top, we go to the bottom, we go to the top, we go to the bottom, we're back to the top. I don't like, it's gonna take a bit to escape, and I'm here making sure it confirms, make sure it makes me believe we've broken these, and make me believe we're gonna go up here, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna lose this green one and we're gonna make the way down here, right? Like we're waiting for this to confirm up and attack, or hey, avoid the avalanche down. You know what I mean? Personally, I would rather wait for this 100 moving average to break, okay? I'm gonna lower this line. I think we can now lower it to the bottom of that. Yeah, I'm gonna take it to the bottom of this candle. I would love game at 24.70. If we can break 2470, green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 nothing, 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 that could be a monster, nearly 50%. Right? You're adding about 20 bucks on a 20 buck stock, 24, right? So to me, and again, some people call me conservative. I don't think that's the case. I like to attack when it's easier, right? Like I call myself smartly lazy, but I don't know what others do. Nonetheless, I would love that right there. To me, this is just, I don't know. A lot of people talk about like accumulation happening on horizontals and they try to look at wedges and things like that. That's not my game, right? I'm too dumb for patterns, right? Like I don't see head and shoulders or up wedges or cup and tees or whatever all those things are, right? You break a line and you do it or you don't. That's easy enough for a dumb dude like me. You know what I mean? So game needs to prove more. You gotta believe this weekly is just as thick. Wow, as I'm looking at the weekly, maybe it was dumb lowering my line because clearly this 27 something is actually a hard line because that's the 100 right. That's the 200 right there. Let me draw this real quick and see what do you look like on the daily. Where's that line? Oh, that's half of this one. So I lowered my line because I thought as this comes down more, my tolerance is a little better. I mean, look, from here to here is not a bad percentage. You're adding, this isn't bad. You're adding about $4 right there. Every 250 is 10%. So that's about 15%. I'm going to leave that. I think from here to here is an important line. From 2870, that's the attack point. That's my 2 cents on game. When I see game, I think AMC. I'll throw in KOSS as well. And then, oh man, AMC looks horrible. Look, I'm not here to hate on any stocks, right? Believe me, I don't do options, so I don't short, right? Like, I want every stock to go up. Like, I'm not here rooting against anything. When the lines look this bad, all I can do is assume bad, right? You break all five and you fly, or you lose all five and you die. We had a point where we didn't do it. This is the other one. We lost the fifth one right here. We try to get back. We couldn't. Now we're at the mercy of the 8 moving average. You know what I mean? Like there's a horizontal right here. So I guess it makes sense that we're kind of holding. I'm quite surprised that we haven't fallen, in all honesty. This is not where I would want this thing. I think that's a good line right there. Can I lower it? 511. Let's a couple cents lower. 515. I like it over 515. 515 puts me over all five. 515 can start to make me think 7 plus. That's 50 per. You're adding more than 250 right there. A little less than 250, but you get it, right? Like that's lovely. And again, you know what I'm about to. Oh my gosh, you know nothing, nothing, nothing. Red, red, red. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Green, green, red, red. Nothing, nothing. Like that's a nice channel right there, right? I would attack all day over this. I would look for better places while we're under it. You know what I mean? So, and again, if the daily is this thick, you gotta believe the weekly is this thick. And hey, lo and behold, that 515 puts me over it on both, right? So, there currently remains the first crypto. Okay, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about this, or you want me to look at crypto real quick? Let me know the crypto winter. I'll be honest, I assumed Bitcoin was going to do a little bit more. I actually just covered this one yesterday, right? Slash, where's the slash? That thing, right? There we go. I thought that we would get to this line. I did. I'm a little surprised that we came down today. No, look, I don't know if you're actually talking about Bitcoin. Like, this will be really hard to lose. I actually don't even think that we're going to go much lower than like 65.5, 65.4. There's a lot of moving averages right here. I would talk scary here. If we were to lose 60,600, that's where maybe it gets scary. But no, I'm digging Bitcoin. Yes, please shoot it in the Discord. That's the one thing I like about the Discord a little bit more than YouTube is we can share screenshots and it's a little more live, right? Let me go to KOSS real quick. That's another. Oh, yo, look at this KOSS setup. This one's interesting. All right, so what am I seeing, okay? This is a nice candle right here. When was this? Tuesday. these two are not confirmation. Obviously, a monster gap up on the start. When was this? Wednesday, right? Yesterday. This is a doji. This is even more of a doji, right? And hey, end of the day, dojis don't count. And I think this echoes the difficulty of escaping moving averages. It's hard to break one. It's hard to break two. It's hard to break 4 out of the 5 that I'm watching. You know what I mean? So this is a nice setup. We have a positive MACD. RSI was a little high. It's coming back down a little bit. Volume's actually not that bad. And our 50-day average line is stabilizing. KOSS is in an interesting place. And obviously you see it, right? Green, green, green. Basically red, red, red. There could be some interesting things coming. Let me put the line right here. What's your line there? Okay, what's your line here? And what's your line there? Okay, so we're over this line, and that's basically 50% of this big candle, okay? I think this is also basically the doji and the line that we're trying to confirm. I think from there, the next line would have to be up here. The problem is this isn't easy right here. No, I'm going to put it right here. You're basically getting the top of that, the bottom of that, and the bottom of that. So there's a couple ways to play this. Personally, I would go bigger over 950. You break 950, you've for sure escaped those. And I mean, just look at that, right? The next basic horizontal point is all the way up here, right? I'm going to delete this line because I don't want you thinking $19 on an 8-something stock, right? Like there's still some movement to be had and whatnot, but that's the money line. It's 950. I like this setup. I really do. I'm here giving some respect to the 50 moving average. That's not an easy line. That's the first of 3 difficult ones, right? So I like the setup. I do. I also really, and oh, that was a good zoom. I like the fact that this pump and dump moment has basically wiped away off the 50-day, right? Like it was a lie believing we were up here. This line down here seems more real. That line down here is where we've actually been able to hit for more than a month, right? More than the last 4 weeks. So KOSS is in an interesting place. It is actually. So anything else worth covering? What time is it too? It's almost, oh, I gotta go soon. This wasn't bad actually. We covered some silly ones. We covered the one I was wrong on, the lithium ones. We looked at the market and the Bitcoin itself. Yeah, we'll call it a day here. Enjoy your day. I promise these will get more consistent in terms of the day, the time, the length, and all that. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I hope you did as well. Hey, have a good one, everyone. Bye. How do I do this? Oh, now they're hearing me sound dumb.